Hi everybody, I'm Book Club Mom, and today I'm going to talk about books that have stayed with me in one way or another over the years after I've read them. And so I bet you have those types of books too, and sometimes it's just the experience of reading them that you remember, I was here or I was this age or that. And so I'm going to share 5 of those books with you and just tell you what they mean to me and what kind of thought that just has stuck in my mind about each of them. So the first one is Just Enough Jeeves by P.G. Woodhouse. And this is actually a collection. I've read a lot of P.G. Woodhouse just because I think he's so funny. And so the reason I think about this, my dad gave me this book because he knew I liked P.G. Woodhouse. These books were written in the 1930s and 40s, so kind of a long time ago, but they're about Bertie and his butler Jeeves. And Bertie gets into all kinds of fixes, and Jeeves always saves the day. And the reason I always think about it is that when my kids were younger, they watched that show Drake and Josh, and it was on Nickelodeon. And there's one episode where Drake and Josh are brothers, and Drake, who's like the good-looking guy, is on a date, and he convinces Josh to be his chauffeur. And so Josh is dressed up like a chauffeur in the front seat of this car, and he calls him Chives. And I've always thought that was so funny because it's a reference to Jeeves, and it's just very funny. Okay, so the next book is The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, and by Stieg Larsson. And the reason I think about this a lot is that the main character, Lisbeth Salander, is just such a great character. She's so tough and she's so vulnerable underneath. And I just always remember that character, and I just think really you can really appreciate the storyline and what Larsson did with her character, especially in the next 2 books. So that's what I think about. The next book, Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand. And if you've never read this, it's just a super long book. It took me 3 months to read it, and I always think of that. And it's also super long. It's 1,070 pages. Whoa, oh my gosh, hold on. There we go. It's 1,070 pages. And look at the print on this. It's like ridiculously small. And the reason I always think, first of all, I like the book a lot. It's a little heavy on theory, but the reason I think about it a lot is that inside the book, I found my notes. And this is the first book I started taking notes with because I had to keep track of the characters. And so that's just kind of a memory that I have, and I always think, well, I remember when I started taking notes because it was Atlas Shrugged, and I never would have been able to keep track of all those characters. The next book is We Were the Mulvaneys by Joyce Carol Oates, and this, I barely remember the storyline of this, except there's one thing that I do remember, and that's the family. It was a big family, and they always kept things on their stairs. And I thought, that would never work for our family. And we would always be tripping on things. And so it always amazed me that that was like a thing for them. And it's part of their character. Like the family is almost like a character in this book. And so I always think of that. And that's why this one made the list today. And the last book I want to talk about is Youngblood Hawk by Herman Wouk. And the reason I'm talking about this one is that, first of all, it's my all-time favorite book. But the other thing is that it was published in 1962. And the first time I read it, I told my mom that I was reading it. And she said, I remember that book because when you were a baby, that was like a big beach read, and I read that on the beach with all you kids. And so I always think of that, and I think, I don't know, this is a monster book too. It's over almost 800 pages, and I always think, wow, you know, I'm not sure I would be reading that on the beach, just because, you know, you just don't have as, it's harder to concentrate. And I think of beach reads these days as, you know, just something a little lighter. So, although this is a great story, it's not like heavy like Atlas Shrugged, but it's, you know, you kind of have to concentrate. So anyway, I just thought I would share this with you. And I'm sure you have books like that too. And so if you liked this video and you want to follow my YouTube channel, that would be great. I'm also on Book Club Mom on WordPress, and you can see all the ways that you can follow me through that and social media. So hope you're having a good day, and I'll see you again next time.